The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Lauren Chen walked through the crystalline doors, her diplomatic robes flowing behind her. Beside her, Adam Rivera carried nothing but a simple datapad, no weapons, no guards, no military escort. The assembled representatives from 47 star systems watched with barely concealed contempt. "The humans arrive," hissed the Vexkari delegate, his 3 eyes blinking in sequence. "Once again, without their warriors. Do they truly expect us to take them seriously?" Lauren smiled politely as she took her seat at the circular table that floated in the center of the chamber. Through the transparent floor beneath them, the planet Concordia spun silently, a neutral world, perfect for peace negotiations. Adam settled beside her, his fingers already dancing across the datapad's surface. The Krone Empire's supreme general, a massive reptilian creature named Vexkor, slammed his clawed fist on the table. "This is an insult. We bring our finest military minds to discuss the border disputes. An Earth sense. What, a woman with soft hands and a boy with a toy?" Lauren's smile never wavered. "General Vexkor, we've brought exactly what's needed for peace negotiations. Would you like to begin, or shall we continue with insults?" The Felixian High Commander leaned forward, her feline features twisted in a sneer. "It's always the same with you humans. Every species in the galaxy brings military representation to these summits, every species except yours. We show our strength, our capability, our readiness to defend our interests. And you," she gestured dismissively, "you send diplomats. Always diplomats." "There's a reason for that," Adam said quietly, not looking up from his datapad. "Yes, we know the reason," the Vexkari delegate interrupted. "Humanity is weak. You have no military worth mentioning. You send civilians because you have nothing else to send." Lauren exchanged a glance with Adam, who finally looked up, his expression unreadable. She turned back to the assembled delegates, her voice calm and measured. "Is that what you truly believe? That we're weak? What else are we to think?" Vexkor growled. "In the 70 years since humanity joined the Galactic Council, you've never once displayed military force at a diplomatic gathering. Your ships are small, your fleet's minimal. You build trade vessels, not warships. You train negotiators, not soldiers. We have over 300 documented conflicts in the galactic database," the Felixian commander added. "Military strength is the foundation of diplomatic power. Everyone knows this. Everyone except humans, apparently." Lauren stood slowly, her hands clasped behind her back. She walked to the transparent wall overlooking Concordia, her reflection ghostly against the planet below. "You want to know the real reason we never bring our military to peace summits? Enlighten us," Vexkor said mockingly. "Because we're afraid," Lauren said simply. The chamber erupted in laughter. The sound echoed off the crystalline walls, a cacophony of derision from beings who saw humanity as a joker species too weak to command respect. Too naive to understand galactic politics, Adam's fingers stopped moving on the datapad. He looked at Lauren, and she nodded almost imperceptibly. "You're afraid?" The Vexkari delegate wheezed between laughs. "The humans admit their cowardice." "Not afraid of you," Adam said quietly, but something in his tone cut through the laughter like a blade. The chamber gradually fell silent again. "We're afraid of ourselves." Lauren turned from the window. "You all bring your militaries to peace talks as a show of strength. You parade your generals and admirals to remind everyone what you're capable of. It's theater, and everyone plays their part. It's how diplomacy works," the Felixian commander said, her amusement fading. "Speak softly and carry a big stick, as the humans themselves once said." "Yes," Lauren agreed. "One of our philosophers did say that. But you fundamentally misunderstand what happens when humans bring our military to the negotiating table." Adam stood now, his datapad held loosely at his side. "Every species here evolved as predators or prey, or some combination thereof. You fight for territory, for resources, for dominance. War is an extension of politics, for you unpleasant, costly, but ultimately just another tool. And for humans?" Vexkor asked, his mockery replaced by curiosity. "For humans," Lauren said softly, "war is a virus, an infection. Once it enters the room, it spreads. It consumes. It becomes the only solution to every problem." She began to walk around the circular table, making eye contact with each delegate. "When humans fought among ourselves before we reached the stars, we didn't just wage war. We perfected it. We industrialized it. We turned the entire art of killing into a science so refined, so efficient, that we nearly destroyed ourselves a dozen times over." "We've all had brutal histories," the Vexkari delegate said dismissively. "Have you?" Adam asked. He tapped his datapad and holographic images filled the center of the chamber. Mushroom clouds, trenches filled with bodies, cities reduced to ash. In a single century, just 100 years, humans killed more of our own kind than most species lose in their entire recorded histories. The images continued. Chemical weapons dissolving soldiers in trenches, firebombs turning cities into infernos. We created weapons that could end all life on our planet, and then built enough of them to do it several times over. And then we aimed them at ourselves. Lauren's voice was steady, but there was steel beneath the calm. We learned something during those dark years. When human military minds enter a room with a problem, they don't just plan for conflict, they make it inevitable. They see every diplomatic solution as temporary, every compromise as weakness. They calculate kill ratios and acceptable casualties. They turn people into numbers and ethics into obstacles. That's the nature of military thinking, Lexcor said, but his tone had lost its edge. Perhaps for you, Lauren replied, but when humans engage that mindset, when we let our warriors lead our diplomacy, something changes in us. We become what we were at our worst, efficient, brutal, and utterly convinced of our righteous necessity. Adam brought up new images, star maps, fleet compositions, weapon schematics that made several delegates lean forward with suddenly widened eyes. You think we have no military? Adam asked. You think we're weak? We're not weak, we're restrained. He highlighted a series of installations on the star map. Hidden shipyards and dead systems, automated defense networks that could turn any approaching fleet into debris, weapons research facilities where we've done things that would make your military theorist wake up screaming. Impossible, the Felixian commander whispered. The council would have detected you. Detect what we want you to detect, Lauren said. We learned camouflage from cuttlefish, cryptography from quantum mechanics, and patience from planning genocides we ultimately chose not to commit. The chamber was silent now. The previous mockery replaced by dawning comprehension and fear. Lauren returned to her seat, her movements deliberate and calm. So yes, we never bring our military to peace summits, not because we're weak, but because the moment human warriors enter negotiations, peace stops being the goal. Victory becomes the goal. Domination becomes the goal. And we've walked that path before, on our own world, and we nearly paid the ultimate price for it. You're saying you could win? Lexcor asked carefully. Against all of us, win. Adam laughed, but there was no humor in it. General, in the time we've been sitting here, I've run 47 simulations of a full-scale conflict between humanity and the combined forces of the Galactic Council. He turned the datapad around, showing streams of data and probability matrices. In 43 of those scenarios, humans achieved total military victory within 18 months. He paused, his expression grave. In all 47 scenarios, more than 90% of all sapient life in the galaxy dies, including most of humanity. We don't win wars. We survive them, barely, and then spend generations mourning what we destroyed. Lauren leaned forward, her hands flat on the table. So we made a choice as a species. We locked our monsters away not because we're weak, but because we're terrified of how strong they are. We send diplomats to peace summits because diplomats want peace. We send negotiators because they believe in compromise. We send people like Adam and me because we've read the history books, and we know exactly what happens when humans stop talking and start shooting. The border dispute that brought us here today, Adam said, returning to his datapad. I have 17 diplomatic solutions loaded and ready to present. Economic partnerships, resource-sharing agreements, cultural exchange programs. Would you like to hear them? The delegates nodded slowly. Their earlier belligerence completely evaporated. Good, Lauren said with a genuine smile. Because the alternative, the one where you pushed us hard enough, that we brought our military to the table, that alternative doesn't end well for anyone. Not for you, and especially not for us. She began outlining the first proposal, her voice professional and warm. Around the table, the greatest military minds of the galaxy listened in silence. And for the first time, they truly understood the humans. The real strength wasn't in the weapons you brought to the table. It was in having the wisdom to leave them outside the room.